Welcome back. I've got an illustration here on the black hole between capacity and billings in your legal firm. This illustration accompanies an ebook we have called The Black Hole Between Capacity and Billings in Your Legal Firm. There should be a link on your screen now to download this, but hopefully me talking and doing a bit of drawing will give some context around what we're talking about. So you can see a triangle here: capacity, billings, and time recording. And in our view, these are three of the most critical points to understanding perhaps where the black hole in your legal firm is. Now you're asking yourself, what is the black hole? Well, we term the black hole the gap between the capacity in your legal firm. When we talk capacity, we're talking billing capacity, and then what your actual billings are. So for example, you may do a calculation with capacity, which we suggest builds up per individual. So that's things such as charge out rates, hourly rate, charge out rates, etc. The productive number of hours expected by your staff, etc. So this here builds up effectively per individual, and you come to a figure, and we'll say that figure is $3 million of billing capacity in the firm. Now once you've calculated this, and we've got a guide on that as well, so there should be a link on your screen now to how to calculate your capacity. But once you've calculated your capacity, it's then comparing it to billings. So we suggest you look back over the last 12 months and have a look at what your actual billings are. And this should include, a bit of a note here, you need to also add in any additional WIP or over and above WIP that is recoverable that's occurred since last year. So say for example last year, the end of last financial year, your firm WIP, say on $3 million capacity, your firm WIP might have been $300,000. Say WIP today is $500,000 and it's all good WIP, it's all recoverable, then I'd sort of say you'd add that additional $200,000 onto whatever you build in the last 2 months. So for example, in the last 12 months, if you build $2 million and your additional WIP was $200,000, I would say that your total billings are $2.2 million. So at this stage, what we're doing is we're comparing actual billings to billing capacity, and here you can see we've got an $800,000 black hole. So if effectively we use this here as the black hole, there's an $800,000 gap. Now the first point of this, or the point of this, is to actually understand that yes, there is a gap. So we know what the capacity of the firm is, we know what we're actually billing. Hey, there's a gap, what do we do about it? Our first step is, once you've understood capacity, is then to go and have a look at time recorded. Now, time recorded seems to be controversial, and it seems to depend on the type of firm and how progressive the firm are. There's a number of firms that don't time record because they fix fee, they value-based fee, they do success fees, etc. So there's sort of an argument, or there's a culture within the firm that we don't time record. My argument to that is if you're not time recording, it's going to be really difficult to be able to measure to see where the gaps are. There's an old saying by Peter Drucker, who's a management consultant out of America: what you can't measure, you can't manage. And I think that's really true in this instance. So what we'd be suggesting is that by individual, we're going through each individual and looking at the time recorded for a particular period, and then we're comparing that against actual billings. So effectively we're looking at the gap here between your capacity and billings on an individual level, and we're trying to see where the problems may lie. If your firm's got a culture of not recording timesheets and not tracking that sort of stuff, I think that's a bit of an issue. Like I say, and it's in the ebook in a bit more detail, but what we're saying around this is that we feel you need to be recording time, not for the purposes of billing, but for the purposes of measurement and understanding performance. Hope you find this interesting. Please download the ebook. Links are on the screen. Cheers, Mark Rogerson.